your compliance. You will feel no pain anymore, no more defiance. Just give us your compliance.
Yes, it is Larry Sharpe on a very, very special show. It is a little bit about, it's actually 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast on a Sunday night. Yes, it is Sunday night, 8:30. If I gotta grab you guys before you do whatever your 9 p.m. thing is on Sunday. You guys watching TV or something? Is Game of Thrones? No, it's not on anymore. So I don't know. Whatever you're doing, I hope you'll give me a little chunk of your evening on Sunday, because 2 days is election day. Oh my God. We are trying our best to keep pushing forward to make something happen here in New York State. I know some of you are saying, Larry, really? You still at this? Yes, still at this. Never stop. Got to keep going. We must. We have to try our damnedest to get ballot access in New York State. Larry, you can't win. Yeah, it's kind of true. Larry, can you get ballot access? Can you get party status for your party? Yes, if you go out and write my name in. Yes, I can. 100%, I can do that. That is possible. That's what we're trying to achieve. You guys know I preach this all the time, and I'm not going to stop preaching it. In 2018, when we got party status, 2019, my happy ass was back out on the road again the year after. We got 107 local victories. Locals, what matters. That's what we did. Then the state screwed us over, and the judges didn't care. I'm back at it again. The Democrats made the rules to stop me, and then Republicans sued me off the ballot. Double banned from both sides. That's how it works. I get it. But if we are able to get our 2% or 130,000, we can still get ballot access, so I can go back out again next year, take my happy ass back out again next year, cross this state one more time, and to get us the local victories we need. That is what we can do to fight the establishment. We can do that. It is possible. That's why I'm out here to doing it. And if you care, you think it matters, and do me the favor that really matters, which is like and comment and share. It does matter. It is important. If you can do it, please do so. I really want it to happen. The more people do this, the better chance I get past all the algorithms. I'm still getting shadow banned on most places, except not as much Twitter. Oh, is he not doing something? Maybe, but I'm still getting shadow banned. So please get around it if you can. I'm going to support the show itself. Our sponsor, the world's smallest political quiz, theadvocates.org. Click that link in the description, or head over there yourself, advocates.org. Take and or share that test. It does matter. Again, it lets people know what we're doing. Please do that. If you want to support me directly in these coming days, I am still spending money. Yes, I am. I still need to try to do ads to get stuff done. I'm still moving forward. I'm still doing stuff. I just was out yesterday. I did a couple stops yesterday. Some of you saw. I'm still out. I'll be doing stops tomorrow too. So I'm not done. I'm still going. LarrySharpe.com/donate. Every bit counts. $10 matters. $100 matters. $50 matters. Whatever you can, please do so. I'm still not working. I probably won't start working until January. So I'm still out of pocket for a whole year. I'll be out of pocket for a full year. Yes. And imagine how you would feel if you didn't work for a year. Well, that's where I am. So I'm going to be back in action probably coming up here. So in any case, if you can support, please do so. It is very helpful. I appreciate it. So let's see here. I have a couple of quick points here. Shelly says, good evening. Good evening. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. Hochul graces us with us peasants with a presence. I will talk about that tonight, actually. Jay says, hope you make it, Larry. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. So if I could, let me show you right away what we're talking about today. Kathy Hochul went on MSNBC. Now, one of the things that bothers me tremendously, and some of you heard me complain about it, and I know I'm whining, but I don't care. I do anyway. This bothers me. If you are a Republican or a Democrat, either one, you get TV time all the time, right? Republicans will, Fox News will have Republicans on every night, 6, 7 every night. MSNBC will have Democrats on every night, giving people the platform they need. What do libertarians get? Nothing. We get nothing. The most, to be forward, the show that's had more libertarian candidates on it than any other show in the last 3 years is The Sharpe Way. I'm not even joking. Yes, that's correct. Yes. My Libertarians Drinking Coffee Live, I used to do all the time. I still will be start doing again once my campaign is over. I'll get back into it. I will have more libertarian candidates on than any other platform. Yes, and that's not good. That's bad, right? I should be like low on a totem pole. I'm one of the highest. That's bad. That should not be an accurate statement, but it is. So they go on, and you might go, Larry, who the hell watches TV? people who vote watch TV. That's who watches TV. Only time I get noticed is when Sean Hannity says, don't vote for Larry Sharpe. That's when I get mentioned. Or you know what? I do get mentioned for Kennedy. I got to give Kennedy props. She's very good to me. So Kennedy is good to me on that. I appreciate it. But let me keep on if I can. When it comes to MSNBC, they obviously put on Kathy Hochul. Lee Zeldin's on Fox News like every other night. So they actually put Kathy Hochul on, and they gave her a interview. Maybe you would call it that. There were parts that were kind of tough, but not lots. Let me talk about it right now.
The race for governor in the state of New York was not expected to be as close as it is just 4 days from Election Day.
That's true.
But the Republican candidate is keeping it competitive by pushing the same kind of issues other GOP hopefuls are running on all across the country.
Yep.
Lee Zeldin, he's a Trump and DeSantis endorsed GOP congressman from the conservative end of New York's Long Island.
Now, this is MSNBC. So everything she just said, by the way, is an insult. Just so you understand that, right? This is MS. If this was Fox, this would be, oh, here's his bona fides. Look at him. He's great. This is MSNBC. Everything he just said literally just was an insult. Just so you're aware of that.
I am happy to welcome New York Governor Kathy Hochul. She is running for a full term after taking over for Andrew Cuomo. Governor, thank you so much for being here. You're essentially running against yourself. People who are happy are with you. People who aren't.
Yep.
But a lot of people don't know Lee Zeldin.
Right.
Oh.
Tell us about your opponent. What do you want people to know about this person?
Now, what an amazing setup for an interview. Hi, Larry Sharpe. You're some guy who I obviously love. Please tell me how bad all your opponents are. Why can't I get that kind of interview? That is an amazing interview. Hey, why don't you just tell me how bad your opponents are? Great way of starting. I mean, did they figure that out? That's awesome. I love that.
Thank you, Stephanie. And this is something that needs to come out. Lee Zeldin was described by Donald Trump as a brilliant lawyer. You know why? Because Lee Zeldin had sent text messages right when the question of the presidential election was out there. He sent messages.
The thing that's funny is there was literally an engineer somewhere or producer somewhere who was able to have these pictures ready. So they knew that they were actually going to go do that and say bad things about Zeldin. So the person in the background was like, okay, she's saying the bad thing. Put the Zeldin's evil pictures up. That's happening right now.
Helping strategize on how to create the big lie. So you think about the architect of the big lie, absolutely undermining our democracy, as well as being out there supporting the insurrectionists.
Mean pictures of them.
Refusing to certify Joe Biden's election on the same day as the attack on our seat of our democracy.
Now, I would ask a question of any of you who might be watching. If someone were to say to you, tell me about your opponent and any other thing, would you just say, well, they're just bad human beings? It's what you just said. No one said that his policies are bad. Now, to be forward, Lee Zeldin doesn't have any policies. So you really can't attack his policies because he doesn't have any. And it's easy to do that, of course, if you just don't have any policies. However, all she's saying is, you know, this guy's a Trumpster, right? I mean, that's literally what she's saying. You know, he's a Trumpster, right? So you can't, vote for Trumpsters, can you? Only crazy people do that. That's basically what she's saying. So it is crazy that they would even start that way. So look, I want to be clear. The interviews on Fox News of Republicans are just as soft, right? Basically, the interview for them is Democrats are doing crazy, terrible things. Here comes Lee Zeldin. Please tell us why Democrats are doing crazy, stupid things. You're right. They're doing crazy, stupid things. That's Fox News. This is just as bad. But the reason why I kind of like Fox a bit better in this case is Fox News is just obvious, right? Oh, no, we're here to promote these guys. MSNBC sometimes tries to be regular. They should just stay where they are. You're lefties. That's it. It's actually a better mix. So let me grab a couple of your comments here if I could. So let's see here. You got a bunch of these here. I appreciate these. Why are you guys really doing stuff? I love it. Gene says, I shut off my TV as soon as I got the notification that you were on. Oh, thank you. I like that. Thank you. Brian says, and you're going to lose like the clown you are. I supported you last time, but now you need to stop embarrassing yourself and bow out. Brian, you are the clown. If you supported me last time, what you just said is, oh, Lara, you have great ideas and great policies. But because you didn't win, I'm going to go be dumb and I'm going to go vote for the winner, even though nothing will change. I'm not sure I'm the clown, my friend. I would think that you might be the clown. The fact that you supported me before and now you won't shows one thing. Oh, I didn't get exact change right away. So even though there's a guy who's still here, still trying to help me, still has good ideas, I'll just fall back to the people who've been beating me for 20 years. The people who've been bending me over and giving me the high hard one for 20 years, I'll go back to them. That's called Stockholm Syndrome, Brian. I'm not the clown, brother. Come back home. No one's being embarrassed here but you, not me. Because think about this. How are you going to feel when Wednesday morning comes and your boy's lost? How are you going to feel? What's worse? What if I don't get my 130? What if I don't get 130,000 and he's lost? What if those two things have happened? What did you do? Nothing. You threw it all away. Now Queen Kathy is stronger than ever. There's no third party to fight her, and she's whipped the Republicans again for the 10th time in a row. Democrats will have beaten Republicans in all statewide elections for 10 times in a row, 20 years, every 2 years, every single time. I'm not embarrassed. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm prepared. I am prepared to take a loss if need be to save the state. Are you, Brian? You aren't. You're rushing off to someone I think might win. You're doing that. I'm not clowning, my friend. It's you. But vote for me anyway. I don't care. I'll take the clown vote. I'll take any vote I can get. So write me in. It's all good. Please. Karen says, so happy to see you at Silky's. I absolutely love that. She is amazing. Thank you. Yes. Because I'm out there, right? When I go out, I meet people. I don't just go to fundraisers. So yes. Peter says, crazy how Lee Zeldin supporters think his weak ass is going to solve crime with slogans like Back the Blue. You're not wrong, right? That stands for everything. That really is his answer for everything. Yes. Robert says, I wrote Larry Sharpe today. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate every single one of them. Yes, absolutely. Fahim says, because I haven't voted in over 10 years, I was purged out of the system, so I couldn't. They wanted me to see a judge to approve me to vote. I was so upset I left anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. That happened to me once, Fahim, which bothered me because I was overseas for many years. And I was voting absentee when I was in the Marine Corps for many years. And when I came back, I had to go to court. And a judge actually did allow me to vote, gave me the right in, and I got to vote that day. So I did do it. This is probably in the 90s when I came back from the Marine Corps. But I did do it. Yes. So, yeah. All right. Dave says, so you aren't going to start working on a 2024 campaign on the 9th? I didn't say that, Dave. I said I might be working. And yes, correct. Thank you. Good joke. Brian says, thank you, Larry, for standing for liberty. I am trying. Really, I'm trying. It can be tough. Yes. James says, part of me wishes Tulsi Gabbard had endorsed you instead of the virgin sacrifice that is Zeldin. You know, I am disappointed in Tulsi. I really wanted her to come our way. I didn't want her to come and like become president or something like that for us because she's not really libertarian. But I knew she had leanings, and I was hoping that she would come to us, spend some time with us, and then maybe turn. I think those hopes may be gone now. But I did hope, James. I was hoping that she would come our way and that we'd have a chance at turning her. I'm not sure that's true. Unless, maybe Republicans get beat up, but I don't think so. Republicans, I think, are going to do well on Tuesday. If they do terribly, she may be like, wait a minute, this wasn't a good move, and she may want to come to us as an opportunist. I would take her if she's prepared to talk. But if not, Jason, maybe you should quit embarrassing yourself and quit. I don't know. You guys think that, here's the funny part. Do you guys know how for you guys who say that, think of how you're projecting. Think of how you're projecting. You don't want to vote for me because you think I'll lose, which you think embarrasses you. Why? Because you're accustomed to voting for people who I'm just going to win, not who will help you or assist you, not who will move liberty forward. I got my ass kicked last time I ran, and I got back up and I crossed this state 4 more times. Every single county, 4 more times. Why would I be embarrassed when I've shown that I actually have integrity and that I've got some grit? And that even though the Republicans kicked my ass this time and threw me off the ballot, I'm still here and I'm still standing. You think I'm embarrassed, Jason? Look in the mirror, my friend. Look in the mirror. You're looking at someone who won't stop fighting, not someone like your Lee Zeldin guy, who the second he got pressure from abortion was like, who cares about abortion? Who threw you conservatives under the bus in 5 seconds. You vote for that guy. You're the ones embarrassed, not me. The guy who hasn't even shown up for a gun rights vote, but says, oh my God, I support the Second Amendment. Who won't even talk about that? That guy. The guy, when asked if he supports Trump, just goes, well, let me say stuff. Won't say yes or no either way. That guy? You think I'm embarrassed? Look in the mirror, my friend. Look in the mirror. So, keep going here if I can. But good luck, brother. I hope you still vote for me. Please vote for me anyway, because that's the right move. You do it anyway. Yes. Philip says, that's the best description of Zeldin I've heard. He certainly has some 40-year-old virgin vibes. Also true. Yes. Also true. 100%. Yes. That is funny. The Frankenstein wrong thing that says, keep fighting the good fight, Larry. I do appreciate that. Yes. Let me go back if I could. And let me keep going with this softball piece that I think some of you will actually enjoy because it is such a softball. They just gave it to her.
And he's so extreme. Opposes women's right to choose. Doesn't support a single bit of gun safety legislation.
I wish
he's
that was
tough
true.
on crime, but boy, is he soft when it comes to guns.
I wish that was true. She's just saying that because that scares the Yorkers, but that's not true. Zeldin's none of those things. The first part was kind of true. This wasn't. She's just like, be scared, New Yorkers. I wish that was true.
So people need to know that's who's running for governor, trying to hide all that now. Like, oh no, he would never do all these things. Like, come on. Voters in New York are smarter than that. So being so close to Trump, though, you got to wonder, does Donald Trump raise money for him, associate with him? I gave him a chance to say whether or not Donald Trump was a great president, and he should have seen the list of accomplishments he ticked off in our debate. So Donald Trump's probably sizing him up, saying, boy, this guy could give me a pardon if he were the governor. Think about that.
This part is brilliant. And I got to tell you, the Democrats messed this up. This was a mistake on Democrats' issue, right? If they really wanted to get Democrats fired up, they should have brought this one up, right? Because what she's saying now is, I don't know if it's true. I wouldn't doubt it. It could be true. I don't know if it's true. But what she's now insinuating is the reason why the Republicans are fighting so hard and sent Tulsi Gabbard and now Trump's behind him and stuff and putting money behind him is so if Zeldin is governor, he'll pardon Trump, right? And then Mr. James won't be able to fight Trump at all. And Trump gets off scot-free. And then Trump can run for president. No problems without being beat up, right? Now, to be forward, do Democrats want Trump in jail? No. Democrats love Trump. They love Trump. So they do not. I'm sorry. Democrat establishment. I should be clear on this. Let me be very clear. Democratic voters hate Trump. Democrat establishment love Trump. They don't have to do anything. You can hear Kathy Hochul right now. Kathy Hochul's not giving you any reason to vote for her. She's just saying, Zeldin's Trump. Without Trump, she can't say that. She can't motivate Democrats to show up because the orange man's going to kill everybody. So she's able now to do this. So they love Trump. They want to make sure he stays alive. I said before, if Trump gets sick, there's going to be 4 or 5 volunteer Democratic doctors out there going, I'll give you a kidney, just don't die. They're going to make sure he stays alive. What Democrats want in their perfect world is for Trump to run in 2024, but heavily battered and attacked, like, sued and, indicted and all the things that they can say, see how bad he is. So they want him running weak. That's what Democrats want in the perfect world. But at point, if Zeldin wins, what if Zeldin pardons him? Pardons Trump totally. Then what happens? Now, you tell Democrats in New York State that, Democrats come out in droves. The average Democratic voter wants Trump in chains, wants Trump in a cage, 100%. The average Democrat voter wants Trump in a cage. The average Democrat elitist is like, Trump's the greatest that ever happened to us. So this is something they probably should have kept going, but they didn't. It seems weird they didn't bother changing that, but they didn't.
That is what I want to ask you about, because Lee Zeldin, most recently, especially in the New York City area, has...
Note, this is an interview of the governor, and they're speaking only about Lee Zeldin.
Kind of underplayed how close he is to Donald Trump. If he were to be elected governor, what would happen to the investigations into Trump businesses? Could they get
MSNBC.
derailed?
Absolutely.
Could Tish James get stopped?
Oh, because I'm sure most of you don't watch much MSNBC, but if you would know that MSNBC spends at minimum 2 hours a day, minimum, sometimes 4 or 6, just talking about how Trump is going to be sued, is being sued, going to court. That's at least minimum 2 hours a day in the news cycle. MSNBC, often 4, 5, 6, 8 hours a day on how Trump's going to jail, how they got him. That's the thing for them. So this is a big deal for MSNBC.
Absolutely. Tish James is one tough prosecutor. She's a great friend, and I know she's going to go to the mat. But if there's a conviction, that's when a governor has the power to pardon or grant clemency. Donald Trump knows this because he granted a pardon to a guy who went to jail who defeated me for Congress, Chris Collins. So he knows all about how this game is played. You know, let them do what they want, their dirty tricks, get convicted, but then you got a friend in the governor's office who can pardon you. That's what Donald Trump is banking on. That's why he's so supportive of Lee Zeldin. And people need to know that close connection between the two of them. Lee Zeldin was—
Wait a minute. So they had a picture of him shaking Donald Trump's hand, ready to go? This is a very good interview. I mean, they're like ready to go. Okay, hold on. She's going to say the Trump thing. Get the picture of them hugging. Okay, got that one? When's he going to be wearing a hat?
Trump's earliest and staunchest supporters.
Bingo!
That should mean something
MAGA
to New
hat.
Yorkers.
There we go.
Well, what New Yorkers care about is their health, their safety, their well-being.
Now, this begins to turn. Now she starts talking about crime. Now, I'm thinking about time. A lot of people are talking about crime here in New York. I live in New York City. A lot of people are talking about crime. It is a big issue. I'm glad she finally did this. As she prepped her, softened her up, and now she's finally going to say something that's real.
Crime was clearly the reason this race has gotten a lot tighter.
Yep.
Lee Zeldin has made it clear he would address crime by making bail adjustments and going after getting rid of Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. You do not want to do those things. What 3 things would you do, would you commit to addressing public safety? Crime is—
Now, this is actually a decent question, right? And to be forward, I wish she'd asked this up front, but she didn't. She's like, let me give you all the chances to say Lee Zeldin's evil, because just in case you flub these questions, people will still remember how evil Lee Zeldin is. That's literally what she did. She was like, let me show. Okay, so now we all understand. Lee Zeldin's the worst of all. He's basically Trump, right? They spent the first third or whatever of this interview expressing, okay, here's how we know that Lee Zeldin's completely evil. And so I guess this way, if you flub these questions, we can still just go, well, it doesn't matter because Lee Zeldin's evil. I wish that wasn't true, but that's how it began. EJ for Liberty says, running against herself, what a slap in the face. Yes, that's how they started this one. Yeah, absolutely. It is terrible. John says, both the Queen herself and the Republican Sacrificial Lamb held rallies today. Yes, Kathy, first of her name, was indeed holding rallies. That's correct. Both of them there were. Sacrificial lamb, I haven't used that word in a while. Yes, a phrase, I'm sorry. Yes. And that is the issue, right? What happens when he loses on Tuesday? How do people feel then? Right? What happens then? That's an issue. So, yes. EJ goes on to say, no policies, no expectations. True. You're not wrong. Absolutely. True. So insurrection, I'm sorry, but our government wasn't overturned. You know, I'm glad you bring this up, right, Shelley? I know you just said you don't even support Trump. I know. There are certain words that you want to say to your audience so they get it, right? So if you use words like insurrection, everyone who's on the left goes, got it. Okay, you're on my team. I get it. These are key words you want to use so that the people who are listening understand. And this is MSNBC we're watching, right? I know some of you are like, what? Why are we doing that? Because I have to do these things for you. I have to watch at least an hour or two of mainstream Fox, MSNBC, CNN, so I can know what people are thinking about when it comes to voting. So I do it almost every night. I know. I accept your condolences. But yes, so the MSNBC audience, for those of you who don't know, when I travel the state, I will often ask a supporter to help me by driving with me. So many times I'll have a driver. Sometimes it'll be myself, sometimes someone will drive with me or drive for me, any of those things. And often when we do that, we'll share a hotel room, right? Yes, I am that guy. I don't mind sharing a hotel room. It doesn't bother me at all. We'll share a room. And we'll share a room and I'll put on TV and they'll be like, what are you going to watch? Like, I got to watch some news. They're like, no. So they feel like I'm punishing them because I swap back between MSNBC and Fox and some CNN and some local news. I'll swap back and forth at least an hour a night, if not 2 or 3 every night. So when I get back from the campaign, I'll throw in the news for a bit. And depending upon who I'm with, who's my driver, they're being punished. So yes, usually I punish myself this way. But I know the audience. The audience of MSNBC wants to make sure that she's one of them. So the reason why she uses the word insurrection, Shelley, she may or may not believe it. Who knows what she actually believes? She has to use that word so the audience goes, whew, good. Okay, you're with us. That's why she uses that word, whether she believes it or not. So there we go. Absolutely. Let's see here. Katrina says, I love Larry Sharpe, 100% running you in. Thank you. I want change and you're the change we need. Thank you. Thank you. Look, here's the reality. if we're able to get the votes that we need and start the party, I'm going to call on a lot of you to run next year. Some of you have to run next year, local elections, wherever it is, and I'm going to help you. I did it before. You saw me do it before, and I'll do it again. We'll get out there. We'll raise some money for you. We'll make some happen, and we'll have a bunch of local victories. Local victories will begin to change the culture. The culture of this state has to be in a change, or we can't get real change. And if Lee Zeldin's going to come in and clean things up is a fantasy. Even if, I don't know, again, I said before, the only way he's going to win is if Kathy Hochul goes and slaps Obama tomorrow. And if Kathy Hochul goes and slaps Obama, then Lee Zeldin will win, because then Democrats will be so shocked they won't show up to vote. If that happens, if she slaps him, Zeldin wins. Great. If that happens, what's going to happen? He's a lame duck governor. He's not going to run the assembly. He's not going to run the Senate. People go, well, he'll just do executive orders and claim emergencies. Okay, how it works in New York State, those can all be removed and backed and just immediately removed by the assembly in 30 days. That's how that works. You get 30 days, and the assembly says, nope, all gone, remove everything. That's how that works. Well, how can they endure for Cuomo or Hochul? Because they control the assembly. So they just do what they want. They control the assembly. He will not. He will go, I'm doing all these things, and it won't happen. He's not going to fire Bragg. That's to go through the assembly. They're not firing Bragg. That's just stuff he's saying. He's just saying stuff. He will have literally no power. He will just say stuff, and the assembly will cut him at every point. The media will be against him. He'll be a lame duck governor, and when he's a lame duck governor, you know who's our next governor? I'm not joking. Andrew Cuomo. That's what will happen. If for some reason Hochul slaps Obama and Zeldin wins, he'll be a crappy lame duck president for 4 years, and then Andrew Cuomo's the next governor of New York. Guaranteed. Andrew Cuomo's sitting and waiting with $22 million doing this. Andrew Cuomo's backing, is no doubt Cuomo is backing Zeldin. No doubt. Cuomo's voting for Zeldin tomorrow. I'm sorry, Tuesday. Guaranteed. Because Cuomo wants Zeldin to win. Because if Zeldin wins, Cuomo's next governor, and he knows that. He'll have to fight for her, but he ain't going to fight against Zeldin. He'll beat Zeldin in 5 seconds, and he knows it. So he'll just run and win in 2026. So yes, unless we get our 130, in which case by 2026, we will have a real grassroots connection. You might go, Larry, what if they just change the rules again? At one point, they can't change the rules without just outlawing all other parties, which they might do. But there are enough conservatives and working families people who will like, well, wait a minute. Wait, now we have no power? The grifters won't be able to grift. So they're going to have to grift somehow. So I think they might fight them at that point. I hope that's clear. So yes. All right. John says, make sure Sharpe's filled the knee. Yes, please. That'd be nice. But if they're not, it'll still be okay. So yes. Dark Cloud says, I'm writing you in. For the first time ever in my 30 years of voting, writing someone in. Thank you, Dark Closet of the Mind. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Yes, 100%. So, all right. Let's see here. John says, Zeldin can't be pro-gun and back the blue when he supports his boys and locking up SAFE Act violators. Yes, yes, and yes. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Pagan Gorilla says, I love your opinions and policies, but I'm not ashamed to say I'm just leaving New York. You shouldn't be ashamed, brother. You shouldn't. Look, to be forward, I don't want you to leave. But I understand. We have failed you as a state. We haven't done a good job of keeping people here. I understand. I would like you to stay, but I get if you're not. What I would ask you is, if you're still here on Tuesday, please write my name in before you go. It's just going to help. And look, maybe we can make something happen in the next 4 years, and you'll want to come back. That will be awesome. I hope that we can bring some hope back to the state, and I can bring you back in 4 to 6 years. That'd be awesome. So please help out by making that happen. I would appreciate that tremendously if you can. But thank you. Dave was going to say, Tulsi was a disappointment for me as well. I know. Yes. I was hoping. I was. But no. Yes. So, all right. The voluntary says, got my vote. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. I do appreciate that. Yes, 100%. If I was anywhere near New York, I'd write you in. Thank you. Some people want to write me in anyway, so it's fine. Just whatever you want. Yes. Dave says, is the full Sharpe like the full Grassley? We literally stole it from Grassley. I'm going to be very forward. We literally did. My policy chief back in 2018, who sadly did not join my team this year, she knew about the full Grassley, and it was her idea to call it the full Sharpe. So we did. So that's where it comes from. So there we go. Yes, that's what the full Sharpe comes from. So let me continue this amazing interview. I guess I'll do that in quotes. Now she does this. He pushes. He does push her.
I'm so happy you asked me this because, first of all, he has no plan for crime. He says,
"What's yours?"
I will.
Well,
I'm already in the middle of executing.
Yeah, no. She actually said, "Well, now what's your crime?" He's like, "Well, he doesn't have any." Yeah. But what's yours? So at least she did push her on that. I'll give her. She did push a little bit here.
Our plan. Last January, my State of the State address, January 5th. This is not an election conversion here. January 5th. You can go look at the records. I was talking about how people are feeling insecure. We need to reduce crime. We need to get more guns off the streets. Since I've been governor, we have 8,000 more guns off the streets. Why? Because I took my police force, state police, said we don't need to give out as many tickets. Let's get them stopping the guns from flowing into our streets. And for the first time in decades, you have a governor of New York working in partnership with the mayor of New York City. Remember all the epic battles? I mean, I said to Mayor Adams, we were in the subway together.
All right. I will give her one thing. She is working better with this mayor of New York. I'll give her that. Everything else she said, utterly useless. We got 8,000 guns on the street. People are still being killed, but something else. The violence in New York City isn't just guns. In fact, some of you may not know this, most of it is not guns. So most of it is knives, punching, shoving people, robbing. Most of it is not guns. So nice. I guess you're getting guns off the streets. I guess that's a nice stat. I guess. I'm not even sure it is. But it isn't changing the crime, right? She's focusing on something that she thinks is good because it does make the average New Yorker feel good when they hear that. It does. It's nice rhetoric. Does it mean anything? We got 8,000 guns on the street. What does it actually mean? It means we put 8,000 black and brown young men in jail. That's what it means. And we use SAFE Act violations and new law violations to put them there. That's what it means. That's not impressive to me, right? I get what she's saying. Not impressive.
January 6th, not that January 6th, a year later, this past January 6th. And I said, Mayor, I'm here to help you. Let me help get people who are severely mentally ill out of the subways. Let's talk.
Now, again, nice to work with the mayor. The problem is all of her ideas suck, right? So I'll give her credit. I got it. You care about working with the mayor. Nice. But all your ideas suck. They don't help. They don't do anything. It's all just rhetoric. It's nothing.
Talk about getting more police officers. A couple weeks ago, we got cameras in all the subway trains. We're starting that process.
So we thought what we'll do is, instead of fixing any problems, we'll just create more of a surveillance state. So her answer is more surveillance state.
We're already executing. No.
I mean, I guess that is a plan. I guess it is a plan. The plan is be more like China. I'm not happy with that plan, Governor. Be more like China is not a good plan. It's a plan. Yes, I don't want to lie. It is a plan. It's just a terrible plan when I would like to not follow.
The governor has spent more money than I have on public safety in history.
Okay, but I'm going to...
Now, here's the thing she also wins at all the time. Here is where she shines. Spending your money. Oh my God, is she good at this? She will spend all the money we don't have. She will get money from Uncle Joe Biden to write checks for her. She's amazing at this. This is where she does shine. If you're saying to yourself, you know what I would love? I would love my governor to spend all the money and to just tax me more and get more money from the federal government and just spend lots of money. If you think that's a good idea, she's 100% your governor, because at that, she's really good at.
Interrupt you then. Here's the problem. We don't feel safe. You might be working closely with Mayor Adams. You may have spent a whole lot of money, but
this, I'm surprised how forward Stephanie is on this. I think that she actually gave Kathy Hochul this question up front, because I don't see how she could be that aggressive. So the question is, how does Kathy, like what she says basically, okay, you may be working with the governor, which is true. She's right. You may have spent all this money. Also true, creating a surveillance state like China, but these are both accurate statements. She's working better with Mayor Adams, 100% true, than de Blasio did with Cuomo, yes, and she spent more money. Both things are true. But her point is, but people still feel unsafe, which is also true. So how do you answer that important question?
I walk into my pharmacy and everything is on lockdown because of shoplifters. I'm not going in the subway. People don't feel safe in this town. So
none of that is gun violence, by the way. It doesn't matter if you take 8,000, 10,000, 20,000 guns off the streets. None of that changes.
You may have done these things, but right now we're not feeling good. We're worried we could be San Francisco.
We'll never be San Francisco.
Why?
Because we are all.
Wow. Did you hear her slam San Francisco? I mean, San Francisco deserves to be slammed. But she's a Democrat. You're not supposed to slam San Francisco. You just broke the rules. You might lose your Democrat card for that one. You got to watch out, Ken. You might see a guy come by right now and go, give me that card. You might lose your Democrat card. You can't slam San Francisco. And she just did. Uh-oh.
Already making a difference. We already have homicides and shootings down dramatically from what they had been last year. Dramatically. And
okay, to be clear again, this is kind of distraction. The data she's saying is accurate. Shooting homicides are down. That's an accurate statement. But crime is not. So she's being very nitpicky in what she's saying. She's like, well, shooting deaths are down. Accurate statement. What about everything else? Yeah.
that's the most heinous of all crimes. There are other crimes that are up. You know what's up most? Grand theft auto.
There are other crimes that are up. Yeah, all the other crimes. She picked the one thing. Again, look, this is what you hear me say all the time. These politicians, why do you keep hearing me talk about policy and not them? They don't actually have policy teams. They don't. They have communications teams. I have an actual policy team. The policies you see me create are actual policies. People get together, we talk about it, we put things down, people write stuff up, we create actual policies. She doesn't have one of those, neither does Zeldin. They have communication teams. So they communicate ways. So the communication team said, hey, how can we make the crappy world that we live in seem better? Oh, look, shooting homicides are down. Let's talk about that. And that's what she said. And she's correct. Shooting homicides are down. But then she said the quiet part out loud, all the other ones are also going up.
Why? Because catalytic converters, because of the precious metals, are highly valuable.
So catalytic converters are being stolen in New York because the precious metals are very valuable. Why are people stealing precious metals? Could it be because you locked people down and shut down the entire supply chain? Could be because of that, couldn't it?
People are ripping off catalytic converters. Just a couple weeks ago, I signed into law a bill that requires the people you take the parts to identify where they came from. So if you can't prove,
See, that's the answer. The answer is then, this is the best part about New York State, there's a problem with people stealing stuff. So what should we do? I know. Got it. Let's punish the small business owners who are trying to make a buck. That's the answer. That's what that law actually does. So if you're a small business owner who's buying products, and what if you buy products that you can't prove where the product came from now? What happens? You can go to jail now or be fined. Yes, that's what will happen. Now, isn't there already a law? Isn't there already a law that you can't fence stolen goods? There is. So there's already a law that says you can't be a fence for stolen goods. That law already exists. So what did she do? I made something illegal, illegaler. That's what she does often. Again, if you knowingly take something stolen and you sell it, that is already a crime. That's not a new crime. Oh my God, that was legal yesterday. No, she signed a new law that made doing it more illegal. See, that'll change it. The people who are doing the illegal actions know that it's illegal or they don't. And that's the problem. What if you know that it's illegal? Well, you'll just make fake documents or whatever because you're a fence for stolen goods. You'll do it. What if you don't know it's legal? Then you get caught. Now you're an innocent person going to jail or being fined and your business goes under. That happens all the time. Because what happens when someone knows this is a new law, which is you have to have paperwork? So what will they do? They'll show you bogus paperwork. Are you going to check every single one? If you do, you've got to raise your pricing so that everyone fails because you're spending all your time checking paperwork for every single piece, every single thing you sell. Or you just go paperwork, got it done, checkbox, move on. Then the inspector comes by, because there will always be an inspector, will come by and go, oh, wait, this paperwork's bogus. Let's fine you $20,000 and put you out of business. Yes, that's how all these laws work. That sound amazing. See, I'm making something that's illegal, illegaler, so I've solved the problem. No, you haven't. You found yet another way to punish small businesses.
the owner of the car, and we have serial numbers on it. So we're going at the criminals. There are other crimes for sure. I know, no doubt about it, all over the nation. So I'm not sure how firing one district attorney in one borough in New York is going to deal with the crime issue.
Well, see, again, there's two pieces she did, which is she does a very good job. However, Stephanie's going to push her on this, right? The good job is she actually says, look, I don't know how Lee Zeldin's plan is going to do anything, which is smart to redirect, right? You redirect on Lee Zeldin's dumb and whatever, which is right. Lee Zeldin has no plan. That's true. But that isn't the issue. You're the governor. You should have a plan, right? I mean, you should.
Across the state, across the nation. This is a nationwide.
Well, it's a nationwide problem, so why are you bugging me?
Phenomenon.
But it doesn't matter what's happening in other cities or other states. The reason people don't feel safe in New York.
Now, I got to give Stephanie some props for this. She kept pushing. I did not see that coming, right? When I was looking at that, you know, I was like, wow, I was surprised that happened. I was surprised. Yes.
Is why they're starting to say, can Kathy Hochul be the right governor, right? It doesn't really matter what's happening in Pennsylvania or San Francisco. You need to get New Yorkers' votes, and safety is a top issue for us.
And I understand that. I took the subway this morning. I'm not.
See, I did the subway, so I'm now good. Let me grab some more of your comments if I could. So let's see here. Brian says, nope, I left your shithole state. Well, first off, Brian, call my shithole. Go fuck yourself, number one. Number two, why do you care? You left. Go away. Go to the state you are now. All right. If you want to feel that way, why are you here? Because you're mad? No, you know why you're here? Because you know I'm right. That's why you're still here. Because you know I'm still right. You know I am. That's why you're here. And you wish you had a guy in your new state. Congrats, so your state's probably cool, whatever it is, that was as savvy as libertarians in this state were. I hope you do. And I hope you don't take your same cuck attitude from here and bring it there. I hope you take it and instead follow the Libertarian Party there and don't fall under the same attitude you had now. That's what I hope. But maybe I'm wrong. I hope so. So yes. All right. So if I go down here if I can. Let's see here. Mike says, Larry, may I write you in here in Colorado? Please. That would be awesome. I love that. Absolutely. Please do that. Yes, 100%. So he says, I'm so disgusted with the Democrats, Republicans, and conservatives because of their nasty behavior towards you that I cannot vote for them. Thank you. They were very mean to me. Absolutely true. Yes, absolutely. Jason, you misunderstand. That was for the other guy that was saying that about you. Oh, thank you, Jason. Thank you. I completely misunderstood. I apologize. If I said something that didn't sound good, I apologize, Jason. I'm sorry. If I said anything that offended you, let me be very clear. I'm sorry. That was not my intent. If that came across in any way negative, I apologize. I should not have said that then. I misunderstood. So let me publicly say I'm sorry. I should not have said that. So yes, to Brian, I'm not sorry, but to Jason, I am sorry. I should not have said that. I misunderstood. Sometimes it goes back and forth. I hope you will forgive me. My apologies. So yes. All right. Alexander says, do we write you and Hollister in, or Hollister's giving? You can write a Hollister if you want to. The problem here is that the state only cares about governor. For those who don't know how New York State works in a very specific way. It cares only about the governor line. If the governor gets the votes, the party gets party status. So do you want to support Hollister? Please write him in. I love Andrew. Please write the entire ticket if you want to. I'd love you to. It's awesome. That's great for their support. It makes them feel good. Please do so. What matters for the state and for ballot access is Larry Sharpe and the governor line. So just so there's clarity. If you want to vote, please go ahead. Please do it all if you like. What matters, though, if for the state made this rule. No, I didn't make this rule. The state did. So, yes, absolutely. I hope that answers your question. So, all right. So he says, the reporter has her arms crossed. Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's true. There we go. You're right. So Mike says, both the Democratic and Republican parties are both against and afraid of libertarians winning. There's a threat to the two-tier hold on power. You are absolutely correct. Yes, you are absolutely correct. 100%. James says, while I agree that Gabbard isn't libertarian yet, I think there is hope that she might be turned. It may never happen, but no one knows the future. Look, to be forward, James, if she all of a sudden came to us and said, oh, I'm so sorry, I was wrong, would I be open to having a conversation? Of course I would. I would be open to any conversation with anybody who wants to come to us. What I don't want, I'm going to be very clear on this. The problem is our past has been someone of stature comes to us because they want our line to run for something, right? If she wants to walk in and be our nominee in 2024? 100% no. No. If she wants to come in and start helping us run, feeling how things feel around here, helping us to fundraise, I'm in. Learning how we work. Yes, I'll take her in a heartbeat because she might actually become one of us, and maybe 2026 she wants to run for something. Maybe 2028 she does. Maybe I'd be open to that idea. What I am 100% not open to is, hi, I'm of stature. Can I be your presidential nominee? No, no, and no. So, but yes, conversation, 100%. Love to. Yes. So, Ronald says, although it was this was a long time ago, do you think your appearance on Rogan has helped you? I like him, but I felt it was one of his worst interviews, and he missed a lot of key points. This is your take on education and giving a large role of teachers. Look, let me take responsibility for that too, right? My problem is when I went there, I had been, so some of you may not know the story. When I went on Rogan in 2018, I was campaigning across New York State every day. I got on a plane that morning, flew to California that morning, went to his interview, and then got on a plane and came back. Literally, that's what I did. That was the whole thing. At that point, he was in California. Now he's in Texas, but he was in California then. And that's what I did. I was so accustomed to talking to New Yorkers every single day that when I spoke to him, I didn't get that he wasn't a New Yorker. There were certain things I was saying that were so obvious to a New Yorker, but weren't to him, right? So across this country, for example, some teachers are horribly paid. Now, ours are not awesomely paid, but they make a living wage, right? Our teachers in New York State make a living wage. It is the administrators who make 3-4 times what teachers make. He didn't know that because that's not true across the country. So he was like, but then teachers. I'm like, no, they'll be fine. They already make a living wage, and I wanted to give them more. So this is going to be great for teachers. He didn't get it, and I should have explained it better. I didn't, because to a New Yorker, it's obvious. To him, it wasn't, and that was me. Did Rogan help me? Yes, it did. It made my YouTube explode. I think I had like at the time like 12 or 15,000 YouTube subscribers at the time. I came back within a week at like 25,000. It was a massive increase in YouTube. Decent on Facebook increase too, but it's massive YouTube explosion for me. That was my biggest piece. I didn't raise that much money off Rogan. I did a little bit, but not as much. But I actually raised more money, believe it or not, off Dave Rubin when I was on his show. His audience is a wealthier audience and a more politically inclined audience. Rogan's, at least back then, I don't know if that's true now, back then was much more of a younger audience and not very politically motivated. The advantage, though, is I gained more people who recognize me. So like now, still to this day, I was traveling yesterday, and I was on a train and also out in different places in Plattsburgh. And literally the conductor in the train recognized me and said, "Oh, Larry Sharpe, I voted for you, man, blah, blah, blah." And he talked to me about family law. It was an issue for him on family law. And we were discussing the issues about a family law on the train, actually, believe it or not. And when I was upstate at Plattsburgh, a family drove by and recognized me and actually stopped and came out. One of my best ones, I think, is a cop pulled me over. Was it Greene County? It's in that area, Lower Hudson Valley somewhere. I think maybe Greene County. Might have been Orange. I don't remember, but it's somewhere in that area. A cop pulled me over to get a selfie. That was in 2018. So yes, I think Rogan helped me for recognition. Cash, not as much, but yes. And also I can send it to people. Like people can see my policies on Joe Rogan. So it did help me. They probably got on again, but the problem this time is I'm not in the ballot. So for many people, I'm not valid this time. So it's sad, I know, but yes, maybe next time. For run again, maybe we'll do it then. So yeah, hope that answers your question. So, all right, see if I can go down here if I can. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, I hope I did answer your question, Jason. I do apologize again. I hope I was clear on that. So thank you for that. I hope I was clear. I don't want to. I didn't want to insult you. That was completely my mistake. Absolutely. All right. Joel says Kathy is trying to promote herself as an underdog. This, by the way, is smart, because what happens in New York is that there is a huge move for Republicans to get up and vote. And that has not been a thing in New York for a long time. Most of the time, Republicans don't care, don't show up. They just want to leave. They don't care. They just want to leave. They're like, you know what? I'm out. I'm leaving. They don't care. They're leaving. And so a lot of them don't vote. In fact, some parts of North Country, only 1 in 6 Republicans actually vote. That's how bad it is. They're voting. So that's a problem. So right now, Republicans have a fire underneath them. So there'll be a lot more Republicans voting this time. So she has to act like I'm an underdog, I'm going to lose, to get the Democrats to come out and vote. if here's the thing to remember in New York State, it's almost 3-1 Democrat Republican. With that in mind, if all the Democrats vote, Zeldin can't win. Just done. It's impossible. He cannot win if they all vote. She knows that. So her goal is not to show good policies. To your point, Joel, she's trying to show that, oh, I'm an underdog and the evil Trump guy is going to get me. She's playing that game and that card so that he can, that she'll get Democrats out. That's the goal. So I hope that makes sense. So Shelley says, I was hoping that Trump would have supported you, Larry. It would be a shock if he likes the shock. That's true. That would have been a crazy thing if he'd have done that. But yeah, that would have been crazy. I'd have taken any endorsement, even his. Yes, yes, and yes. 100% I would have done it. Absolutely. Yes, I totally would have done it. Let me keep going if I could. I'll grab a couple more of these right afterwards. Let me just keep going so I can finish this up.
Out there with the people. I'm talking to them. I understand this sense of anxiety. And that's why part of it has to do with getting people who are severely ill out of the subways because you don't know if they're going to have an episode. Something happens, they push somebody. That's the fear of the unknown. We have to get them out of there. We're doing that right now. Cameras. When you're on a subway, the perpetrators now know they're being watched. There's a record of it.
Okay. Literally, we see cameras of it all the time. Ring cameras all the time. Cameras all the time. And that stopped. Oh, wait, nobody. That has stopped nobody. Colossal waste of time.
That's going to start having a deterrent effect. And you mentioned the bail laws. The reason the New York State budget, my very first budget, was 9 days late. I wanted it on time. But I said, I'm not leaving here until we deal with the repeat offenders you're mentioning. People keep taking things off the shelves in the drugstores every day. The bail laws now cover them. Anything with a gun, the bail laws now cover them. I gave more powers and discretion to judges and district attorneys than they had.
Now, that actually is true. However, it's about guns again, right? So again, in this case, she's not lying. She's just not telling the whole story, if that makes any sense, right? She's not actually lying. The laws are better if you've got a gun. But most crime isn't with a gun. So again, she is cherry picking data. This is not a lie, what she's saying. She's just not saying the whole truth.
Before we made those changes in our law, but they've only been in effect a short time.
Do you think you get credit for that? Do you think that you face, whether it's...
Okay, hold on. Now, this is a wonderful sandwich. She starts out with, the whole thing is, let's talk about how horrible Lee Zeldin is. He's the evilest guy in the world. He's basically Trump. No one should vote for him. He's horrible and evil. All right, let's do the elephant in the room, crime. Give you a chance to do it. I'll push back like you care. You'll come up with some stuff. And now let's explain why people don't get why you're so awesome. Here we go. Do you think
conscious or unconscious sexism by voters, especially as it relates to crime and public safety, right?
Sexism. So that's the reason. To be clear, sexism. This is MSNBC, so you knew something like that was coming, right? It is MSNBC. That kind of had to happen. So there it is. So the reason why people don't get how awesome you are on crime is because we're all sexist. I'm not joking. She just said that. Whether it's conscious or unconscious, right? So that's the reason that we feel unsafe, because we're all sexist.
New Yorkers who, are used to these alpha male, macho man governors, or political leaders here. And
that's what it is. It's all the alpha male, macho man, political leaders here. She just said that. That's what it is. See, if it wasn't for this toxic masculinity that we have pervasive all around our government, Delgado, our lieutenant governor, super macho, and her super macho, I guess, I don't know, but that's the reason. She actually said that. So now I'm giving you an excuse. This is the reason why no one gets it, right? Because we're all sexist.
You are not from New York City. You're a petite, capable woman from upstate. Do you think we give you enough credit?
People don't
see. Do we give you enough credit? I mean, let's really explain. I love it. It began with, tell us how horrible Lee Zeldin is. And it ended with, do we tell you how awesome you are enough? I don't know if we do. I mean, do we really? I mean, we should be telling you how awesome you are more, shouldn't we? Did I miss any of that? I mean, that is what happened, right? Mike goes on to ask, Who is this interview supposed to convince? People on the fence aren't watching MSNBC. And that's the point to realize. She's not. And that was my point earlier. This is New York State. Again, in New York State, Democrats outgun Republicans. There are actually more, no one, other, not registered, not affiliated with a party than there are Republicans in the state. That's how few Republicans there are in the state. So she doesn't want to convince anybody. She just wants all the Democrats to come out. And so she's trying to get all the Democrats to come out. She's not trying to convince anybody. She doesn't care. She doesn't want someone to be convinced that she's good. Get all the Democrats out, she wins. She knows that. Her people know that. So your question is a valid question. And the answer is nobody. She's not convincing. She's trying to get them to get out and actually vote. Rocket Man says, right in Larry Sharpe. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Shelley says, Zeldin's winning points for claiming that he is going to fire an elected official. Of course, he knows something. Exactly right. Yes, he's not going to. There's no way. Yes. So the pursuit of happiness says, oh, Kathy, this whole time I've been calling her Karen. Oops. That's actually funny. It's actually good. Yes. All right. The volunteer says, left, right playlist is easy to read. If this was a sports team playbook, we'd smash the establishment. Yes. Terrible. You can literally call their plot. 100%. Yes. Absolutely. So let's see here. John says, sorry, I've been out of loop due to personal hardships. Are you still running in New York? Oh, John, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're going to be able to recover quickly. I hope you are. Your personal hardships, whatever they are, I hope you are getting back in action. I hope that's true. When we fall down, it sucks. When we fall down, the hardest part is getting back up. And I hope you'll be able to get back up. That would be amazing. I hope you're able to do that. So please get back up if you can. So yes, I'm running. I was sued off the ballot by the Republicans, conservatives. I'm running a writing campaign so that we can get ballot access for the party for next year, so we can begin winning local elections. Please, on Tuesday, head on in there and write in my name, Larry Sharpe. Yes, just write in my name, Larry Sharpe. Absolutely. So there we go. All right. I hope that was clear at least. Yes. Phil says, it's hilarious that the left wing views Trump as vulgar, but will campaign with the Clintons. Nice. Obvious. She's not too worried about sexual assault. Very good. I like that. Very good. So Ron says, go back on Rogan. Look, I wish it was that easy. I just call him up. Hey, Joe, I'm coming on Thursday. Let me on. I wish it was that easy. I love it. People say it all the time, Ron. This drives me crazy. Why don't you just go on CNN? We reach out to all of them. They go out of their way to not put me on. All of them. They go out of their way. They don't want to validate us. That's the issue. They don't want to validate us. So they don't. So yes. So Ron says, Zelda, I think you mean Zeldin, not Zelda, but yes, is a joke, but not as bad as Hochul. Yeah. I won't vote for either of them. Good. Right in Larry Sharpe. I love it. Thank you. 100%. Yes. Friedrich says, hey, Larry, I was proud to have voted for you the first 4 years ago. Yes, thank you. And we'll probably do so again for you this time around. Thank you. Really blows what the two-party duopoly did to you and the other third parties here in New York State. Yes. One question, when it comes to running your name on the ballot for governor, do I just write Larry Sharpe, or should I include your lieutenant governor running mate, Andrew Alston, as well? You may, guys, please. If you want to put in Andrew Alston, please do so. It's awesome. Please support the team. It's great. Not required. What the state cares about is my name in the governor slot. That's what they care about. That's the one thing they care about, is that. So that's all the state cares about. But if you want to put in more to support them, please do so. That's awesome. Put in and all the people you want to, please support them. I love my ticket. I picked them for a reason. Please put them in. But the state cares about one thing only. That's the issue. Yes. Rockman says, how will Cuomo win in 4 years? If Zeldin actually does win somehow, I don't know how he would do it, but say he does. If he does, Zeldin will be a lame duck governor because he will not control the Senate or the Assembly. He'll say he's going to do, executive orders, but all his executive orders will be countermanded after 30 days. In New York State, you can only declare an emergency for 30 days, and the Assembly can just say, no, it's over. That's all you get. Now, if the Assembly doesn't say anything, you can extend it because the Assembly doesn't say anything. Now, that doesn't affect Hochul or Cuomo because they ran the Assembly, and Hochul still does. So she can keep it in perpetuity as long as she wants. That will not happen for Zeldin. They will literally just stop it. And so he'll only get 30 days. And they'll countermand everything. He'll be a lame duck governor. So he'll fail as governor. Once he fails as governor, you can't bring Kathy Hochul back because she lost to him. So who's going to come in? Cuomo's going to come in. Yeah, if I was governor, this would be... He's going to talk all that trash like he does because he has no shame at all. He will talk all the trash. He still has, I think, $22 million or $20 million in his campaign coffers. So he has $20 million to run against Zeldin. So he will, and he'll win. That's how he'll become governor in 4 years. He'll just run against them and he'll win. So yes, unless Rocket Man, we get 130,000 or 2% of the votes coming up here on Tuesday, in which case he will not win. Why? Because I will in 2026. That's why. So yes. Joel says, I voted early for the first time, voted in Larry Sharpe. I'm working nights all week. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Rocketman also says, writing you in. Thank you so much. Melissa wrote you in today. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Yes, absolutely. I appreciate that. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Yes. Dan Texas, I've been in the bubble for a while. What happened with Tulsi after she declared herself not a Democrat anymore? She is running around all the states, backing all the Republicans, to include backing Lee Zeldin. She's doing that too. She's here in New York backing Lee Zeldin. And we were disappointed. I really wanted her to be more libertarian. I don't think it's going to work. So I don't think it's going to work. Yes, absolutely. Tyler says, said it yesterday. I'll say it today. I'm going to write you in. I voted for you in 18. I'll do it again every time you want. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Yes. When he says, I haven't been on much, do you just write your name in the lower box? Yes. That's all you do. Right where it says write in, you just put it right there. Larry Sharpe. That's all you do. That is all you do. Yes. Write in Larry Sharpe. That's all it takes. Keep it in the lines. Write it clearly. All good. Yes. 100%. So yes, I hope that was clear. All right. Mike says, do you think she believes the absolute BS from her mouth? You know, I don't know, Mike. I don't think she cares. Right? I think she cares. But a lot of stuff she's saying is not an actual lie. It's an omission of the truth. Right? Most of she's saying, you could fact check and go, yeah, it's factual. What, like she talked about crime. She didn't say crime was going down. She said gun homicides. That's accurate. Right? If you do the data on that, you can check it. Gun homicides have gone down. But all the other crimes gone up. She just didn't say that. She just said, look, I'm winning. So a lot of stuff she's saying is not a lie. It's just through omission, which is savvy. That she has smart people telling her stuff. Don't say this, say that. This way, if they fact check you, it's correct. So I think that's what's happening often, right? That's happening often. So yes. And then Jean goes, but violence doesn't count if it isn't gun violence. Thank you. That's how she gets around it, Jean. This is how she gets around it, by using exactly that. That's how she does it. So yes, let me finish up this as she's going to sit here and try to figure out, tell us why everyone's sexist.
No, I'm as tough as hell. I'm from Buffalo. My father and grandfather were steelworkers. Grew up in a big Irish Catholic rough and tumble family. There's no one tougher than I am. And I've been through hell and back in this job, and I love every minute of it. But there's no one tougher than me. And if anyone thinks that I'm soft on crime, look at what we've been doing. We have been aggressive about this. And so I'm breaking the mold, perhaps.
She's breaking the mold because no one's tougher than her. I guess that sounds good.
I haven't seen a governor who looks like me. I want to make sure that this becomes the norm. We have the toughness. I'm a mother. I'm actually a grandmother. So this is personal to me when people have that fear. So I have my own toughness, but also that compassion and the empathy that perhaps others don't have. That's the combination I bring to how passionate I am about solving this problem. Normally, a governor doesn't get their hands all dirty in local policing issues, right? When have you seen that before? But I've been meeting with the leaders in not just New York City, Rochester, Syracuse, convening everybody, district attorney, sheriff, U.S. attorney. What are you doing? Have you used this law? My husband was Barack Obama's United States attorney. He was a top prosecutor. I understand.
So everything she just said doesn't solve a problem. And also, she shouldn't be involved. Why is the governor sitting down and saying, have you used this law? Have you used this? Why aren't you trying to fix the problems so that people aren't going back to jail? I thought you're supposed to be a compassionate Democrat. Now, don't get me wrong. Do we have to hammer the people who are doing the bad things now? Yes, but that's a short-term solution. Locking people up is a short-term solution, right? I don't want bad guys on the street. I got it. Okay, now what? No one has a now what. Now you might go, well, Larry, lock him up forever. You might think that. Great. You want to drop 6 figures in taxpayer dollars every year, locking the entire state up. I would like to not spend that dollars. I would like to get them off the streets and then figure out how to get people not back locked up again. I'm the one with a plan for that. They don't
understand how this works. So people shouldn't underestimate how tough I am in my commitment to making sure our streets are safe.
You're talking being a grandmother, a mother. Women are out there voting. Daughters are out there voting.
True.
Early voting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
When we talk about polls, not just in New York, but across the country, we talk about these tightening polls. Are you buying that? Because last I checked, not too.
Oh, okay. So first part was tell everybody why the reason we don't get it is because they're all sexist. And this one, tell everybody why the polls don't matter anymore. All the polls are don't listen to polls unless they're my polls. Then they're perfect. But
Many
others don't
people
listen.
answer pollsters when they call. And given all the things that are on the line right now and the kind of people, the amount of people that are voting early, should we believe these polls?
It's so hard to know, Stephanie, because, we have so many examples throughout history. I've been involved in politics since I helped with Tim Russert.
We
I
know.
worked with Tim Russert.
Yes, you have been in politics literally for like 30 years. We know. And that's why we don't want you elected anymore, because all the problems we have is because of you. Yes, that's
To
accurate.
get Senator Moynihan elected back
Lucky
in
you.
76. So I was this nerdy high school girl who loved politics. And so I was the only woman in the room, the only kid in the room. So I know all this.
Always the only woman in the room.
I've been
Always.
following polls all my life. All I
Okay.
know is that toward the end, they are meaningless. They become meaningless because people aren't answering their phones. The young people don't respond the same way. I mean, the traditional ways of gauging public interest are just out the window. And I'm not sure how you really get a good snapshot other than you work your tail off. I have been in 14 elections.
So you get a snapshot by working your tail off. That made no sense, but it's fine. She's been in 14 elections. This should be an embarrassment. Like, you shouldn't be happy with it. I have been in New York politics for 14 different elections. I've been around since 1980. See, and this state's a disaster. This state is terrible. I'm responsible for all the badness in this state. Vote for me. That's what she just said.
Always run like an underdog. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. We haven't won a Super Bowl yet. You're always hungry. You work so hard. But
does that mean if you win, you're going to jump on a plastic table in a parking lot?
I just may do that.
Then let me ask, we were talking about polls. For months, Republicans have been pushing all sorts of polls and raising money off of it.
That's exactly.
Now, this is very valuable. This part I'm going to give Stephanie. She's right. One of the reasons why, for those of you who don't know, some of you may not know this, and I'm going to bring this up. Some of you don't know this. How do polls get put out, right? Do people just decide, oh, it's a college, so I'm going to do a poll? No, polls are bought. So I found this out in 2018. I didn't know this in 2018. I was not even the first time that I ran. And I would go to the people and say, why am I not in a poll? Right? I'm literally, at that point, I was on the ballot. I was the Libertarian Party candidate. And I would say, why am I not in a poll? And they'll go, what do you mean? Well, you're putting polls out. You don't have my name in a poll. Oh, you don't buy the poll. What? You don't buy the poll. Buy the poll. We'll put your name in it. Okay. How much a poll cost? $40,000. How's a third-party candidate going to raise $40,000 for a poll? That's the point. It's pay to play. So what do they do? What also happens is if you buy the poll, you get to ask the questions. That's true. You don't know that? Yes, that's true. You get to form the questions. And there's things called a push poll. And a push poll is like this, for those you don't know. And I've done push polls. Smaller companies do it for me if I want to, and I've done it before. In a push poll, I poll at 25%. That is how good push polls are, right? Push polls like this. Hello, sir. When I ask you a question, did you know that Kathy Hochul wants to punch your kid in the face? Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that. Okay. Did you also know that Lee Zeldin wants to kick your kid in the stomach? Oh, okay. Did you also know that Larry Sharpe wants to give your kid $100? Great. And if the election was today, would you vote for Lee Zeldin? Would you vote for Kathy Hochul or Larry Sharpe? That's a push poll, right? So 2 people want to hurt your kid. 1 doesn't. Who are you going to vote for? That's a push poll. So Trafalgar does a lot of push polls, right? So they put it in the right way. That's why Trafalgar polls always look good, and they won't show you the questions. If you look at the details, they'll show you the demographics of who they called, how often they called, but they won't show you the questions. You won't see them. It's a push poll. In a push poll, that's when Zeldin looks great. In a regular poll, he's behind by 5 or 10 to 15 points because he's behind by 5 or 10 to 15 points. That's why I think he'll lose by 10 points. But in the push polls, he looks great. So, and what does a push poll do? A push poll allows you to raise money. Because here's the issue. When it comes to big donors want to see results. Smaller donors want to be part of something bigger, right? He's gonna win. I'm gonna be part of the winning team. I'm gonna win. So when you start showing polls where Zeldin's closing the gap, people start giving money. So they pay $40,000 for a poll so they can raise $400,000 outside of that. It's a marketing tool. And she's right on this one. I learned that lesson the hard way. But yes, when I push poll, I get 25% of the vote. Push poll. So that sounds great. But when regular polling, I poll anywhere from 5 to 7%. That's where I poll in that area between 5 and 7%. I think I average 5.5 or 5%, 5.5%, give or take. I average about 5.5% in my polling, which still is amazing for a libertarian third-party guy who's not even on the ballot. So, and in Zeldin's push polls, I come in at 3.5%. In Zeldin's push polls, I come in at 3.5%. Think about that.
What they're doing. All we have to do is see the name Trafalgar. It's going to show that we're neck and neck, or that Lee Zeldin's beating me today. Okay. Our own polls show that that's wildly wrong, which you're making money on. That you're getting super billionaire donors like Ron Lauder to dump millions and millions and millions of dollars in negative ads against me to keep to prop up your election because you gave them a fake poll. So you know what? Democrats are too honest to do that. We're not.
Okay, there she just lied. Republicans do that, and so do Democrats. To think Democrats are too honest, that's an absolute lie. 100% lie. Utterly untrue. They all do that. That's a thing. They all do it, and they make cash. Yes.
Playing that game. And so that's what's going on here. I think that is having an effect, but I don't care. I'm not intimidated by them, their polls, their money. I have my faith in New Yorkers, and I know they'll do the right thing. And all I need to win on this election, Democrats turning out. We have enough Democrats.
Now she said, see, I wasn't making this up. She said the quiet part out loud. To your point earlier, the gentleman who said, who's she trying to convince? Nobody. She doesn't care if she convinces anybody. She cares about one thing only, turnout. If the Democrats show up, Zeldin loses. There's just too many of them, right? If the Democrats show up, Zeldin loses. That's how that works.
If they get complacent and say, oh, she's fine, it's a blue state, that's when you get in trouble. We cannot let that happen. I'm calling on all New Yorkers to stand up, defend your democracy against a Trump-loving climate change denier, election denier, abortion denier, denying abortion rights. That's who's on the ballot. It's time people understand that.
Governor Hochul, thank you for joining me tonight.
Thanks.
So that's what she has to say. So basically vote against Trump so Democrats come out. That's her whole thing. Now to be forward, it's not, when it comes to across the country, this is not a winning strategy, which is why you're seeing Democrats get their ass beat throughout all the country. It's not a winning strategy across the country. So that's why so many Republicans are like, oh my God, Zeldin could win New York. No, it's a good strategy in New York. It's going to work because what she said, there's just too many Democrats. It works in California. The Republican can't win in California either, right? It's not going to work. The state's too deep blue. That's the issue. So I think I know it sounds odd, but that's really the action. So yes. All right, let me keep going down here if I can. Jay says, the problem with libertarians is you assume people behave rationally. No. If that were true, Jay, I'd be the governor. Clearly not true. Guns aren't the main murder weapon in New York. I just said that. And assault rifles are like 1% of them. Yes. But protecting people obviously isn't the point. You weren't paying attention to what we talked about at all. None of that makes any sense. Of course, we agree with everything you just said. Why are you acting like I just said what you said? We're in total agreement. Anyway, okay. Karen says, more crimes and killings are prevented by guns than committed with them. Follow Maj Touré for this and more astonishing stats. Yes, yes, and yes. Maj is awesome. You should follow him. He is, for those who don't know, he's the founder of Black Guns Matter. You can check out Black Guns Matter. And he jokes and says he's part of BLM, the Black Libertarian Movement. So very funny. I like Maj tremendously. Yes, you are correct, Karen. Please follow him. Maj is great. So yes. Joel says, more surveillance, bigger government, and an opportunity to reward a crony with a big contract. Yes, yeah, and that's exactly correct. That's why she did it. You're totally correct. Cronies will get more contracts than ever. Guys, as always, if you like what I'm saying, like, comment, and share. Let people know that this is out there. Share it to the best of your ability. Click that like button. If you are on YouTube, click subscribe. If you're on Twitter, follow. If you're on Facebook, follow. All the things you need to do, please do so. It helps tremendously. And you can also support the page by supporting our sponsor. This is free. The world's smallest political quiz is free. You can click the link right there in the description, or you can go to theadvocates.org, either one of those two. Click on that, take the world's smallest political quiz, and then send it out, the results to other people, let them see it. Why do I push this quiz all the time? You're like, Larry, you always push this quiz. I am, yes. Why? Because if you push this out and other people see it, they may take it. It's short. And when they take it, they'll see where they actually stand. Do they stand more progressive? Do they stand more conservative, more moderate, more liberal, more authoritarian, more libertarian, or more authoritarian? You might go, Larry, who does authoritarian? I'm telling you something that you might find odd. We are finding now with the stats we've had from people taking the world's smallest political quiz for literally decades that people are moving more towards authoritarian. Yes, that's actually happening. So we'd like people to put their stats down. Please try. It does matter. If you can join it, do it. And if you want to support me directly, you want to help me keep moving this thing forward, LarrySharpe.com/donate. Every bit counts. Please donate. Give what you can give. It does matter. I'm still doing this. I'm not done. We have more fight in us. Let's keep going, right? It does matter. So thank you for that. All right. Let's see here. If I can grab this one. Tyler says, wow, an MSNBC anchor getting aggressive with a Democrat. Yeah. But no. Tyler, she wrapped it up at the end, right? She was like, sandwich, Lee Zeldin's evil, right? Tell us why. Push back some, and then tell us why everybody else is sexist and you're so awesome. So she kind of wrapped it up enough to not get disappeared. So yes, I think she was able to do that. 100%. Yes. The scientific libertarian, you better vote for me or that giant rhino will get you. You're not wrong. Yes. James says, Democrats have bad ideas, Republicans have no ideas. Larry Sharpe. That Larry Sharpe guy's smart. That's correct. Yes. Joseph says, when this red wave happens in a few days, it's going to be an apocalyptic shellacking. We are going to go right from the Great Reset immediately to the Great Awakening. As a New York conservative, I've been waiting for this for a long time, and I detected big change coming. Joseph, I don't think it's going to be that big. And the reason why is I don't think it's going to be massive. I could be wrong here, but I think it's not going to be that massive. It's not going to be like the whole country goes red. And the next thing is, most people who are switching and who are voting Republican, they aren't voting Republican because they like Republicans or because their policies have changed. They're voting Republican because they hate Democrats. I don't mean to be cruel on this, but it's true. Most left-leaning people or Democrats or even leftists don't want to accept this next part I'm going to tell you as true. And that is the reason why people are voting Republican is not because Republicans have great plans. It's because the Democrats have become so dismissive, so alienating that they feel disrespected. So they're like, well, there's only two choices, they believe. So they're going to Republicans. This is why Forward has any chance of success because of that, right? So if I believed that Americans were actually thinking Republican values, I would agree with you. I don't think that's true. You look at most people who are voting Republican. Even Joe Rogan said red wave. Joe Rogan's a lefty. He just hates Democrats. And that's the issue, right? So I think it won't be as shocking as you say. I don't think it will be. I don't think the country has actually changed yet. Now, if Republicans get smart and they take these new voters and indoctrinate in their ideology well enough, then that will be true. If that happens, you'll see that in 2024 or 2026. If that happens, and those Democrats who changed will then actually become Republicans, if that makes any sense. Right now, most of them aren't Republicans. They're pissed off Democrats, and that's the difference. I hope that's clear, my thought process, at least on this one. So, yes. I think it takes more time for what you want to happen, is what I think. It takes more time. So, yes. All right, Tyler says, had a catalytic converter stolen from one of my cars. It's a real phenomenon. I'll give her that. You can't blame the small business for doing small business stuff. My point exactly, Tyler. Yes. Yes. Liz says, catalytic converters are stolen in mall parking lots everywhere. Yep, there we go. Logic says, WTF, how the hell would they be able to identify catalytic converters? Next steps, they're serializing car parts and extra fees. Bingo. I thought New York State was a nanny state before this. Now there's just insane. There we go. 100%. Yes. That's very good. Yes. See if I can grab a couple more of these. Phil says, she took the subway with the armed guards. That's true. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. So tell that Larry Sharpe, 412, you left my shit all state. First love, go fuck yourself. Yes. So yeah, don't insult me, right? I get it. You left. I got it. You don't got to rub it in. And then you're going to get mad at me for trying to fix it? Then you're going to try to get mad at me for trying to fix it? I'm trying to fix it, man. Why are you mad at me? I know maybe I shouldn't have said it, Tyler. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I went a little bit too far. Maybe I did. But I'm trying to fix this thing that he just left. So don't be mad at me. Either just go about your own world, do your own thing, and ignore me because you don't care. Or go, thank you, Larry. I hope you fix the place, which is what you should be saying. One of the two. Either thank me for trying to fix it, or just walk away. You don't got to be a jerk about it. Am I wrong, guys? I mean, many of you have left the state. You don't insult me. You go, Larry, good luck with that. And that's fine. That's totally appropriate. It's hard. Yes, absolutely. The Frankenstein has been watching Larry for years, and maybe the first F-bomb I've heard. Every once in a while, I do drop them. It's true. It does happen. It does happen everywhere. Yes, absolutely. It does happen sometimes. Oof, get him, Larry. That's my guy. 5 peppers with a spice. Yeah, I do that sometimes. I'm human, guys. I am human. I am human. Jim says, let's write in Larry Sharpe. I agree, Jimmy. Absolutely, I agree. Yes, 100%. Absolutely. So, let's see here. We hear Dinnick says in New York State have the worst candidates for governor in history. Crime is real. A lot of people are voting Republican for this issue. Kathy Hochul cannot compare with the rest. She has security. It's true. All that's true. And that was my point with Joseph. I don't think you're seeing a bunch of Americans actually become Republicans. I think there will be some form of red wave on Tuesday. I don't know how bad it'll be. I think it will be some type. But it's because of pissed off Democrats, not new Republicans. Now, could that happen? Yes, right? That could happen. But it would take time for the Republican Party to bring those pissed off Democrats into Republicanism. Now, will they? I don't know. So I think we'll know that in 2 or 4 years. But right now, it's not really a Republican revival. It's a pissed off Democrat revival. I think that's the issue. So there we go. All right. Larry is a shield to split Republican votes. This is why I'm attacking Kathy Hochul, because I'm a shield, Dave. That's the reason why. You know, all these people who say, well, how much is she paying you? I wish she was. If she was smart, she would. I'm not even joking when I say that. If Kathy Hochul was smart and actually cared about her own winning and got it, she would have had her donors give me money. That would have been smart. I wish they would. I wouldn't be pushing you, David, to do LarrySharpe.com/donate. I wish donors would give me a bunch of money. They could have. Each of our donors could have given me $40,000 if they wanted to. They didn't. Why didn't they? They could have given me so much money so I could have gotten a ballot. They could have helped me get in the ballot to take votes away from Zeldin, if that was true. If I'm that much of a shield to split Republican votes, why didn't she just make sure I was on the ballot? Yeah, no answer. You're just talking trash. Talking trash. Right? You're just talking trash because you're mad. And I get it. You're mad. You know New York State's a disaster. I get it. I've been saying it forever. And you want someone to come in and save it. I know. I do too. I was hoping I'd be that guy. If I was actually a shield to split the Republican votes, somebody in the Democratic Party will be writing me big checks. You can check it. It's public. They're not. I wish they were. That'd be awesome. Or they could have got me on the ballot. Awesome. And then I could have been on the ballot. So that storyline doesn't work. They might go, they would never do that. That's literally what Cuomo did in 2014. In 2014, Cuomo was afraid that Astorino might beat him. Astorino is actually a pretty good candidate. For those of you who know Rob Astorino, he was the executive of Westchester County. He's actually a pretty good candidate, and he's an actual conservative, not a fake conservative like Zeldin. He's an actual conservative. So he was afraid of Astorino. So he actually made sure that the Libertarian was in the debate because he wanted to make sure the Libertarian would go in and try to, that Libertarian was Mike McDermott in 2014. It wasn't me. It was Mike McDermott because he wanted the Libertarian to take votes away from Astorino. So it's been done before, and it can be done again. And it wasn't. So how am I a shill? You just made that up because you don't like it. So anyway. So let's see. John says he didn't split the vote in 2018. He won't do it now. Yep. They don't have any numbers. Of course not. Yes. So that libertarian lady says, come in the home stretch, right in Larry Sharpe. Yes, please. 100%. Please do that. 100%. That would be awesome if you guys do that. I would appreciate it. 100%. Yes. So, all right. Dan says, Larry, if there were a Purple Heart that could be awarded for wounded brain cells, you deserve it for having listened to these people. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Yes. Ryan says, people still actually watch MSNBC. Yes. But to be forward, all of them are hurting, right? Some of them are doing better online. The reason why CNN's in so much trouble is because CNN didn't shift online well at all. It started to fail, and then it's CNN Plus failed, a disaster. Fox News has shifted online with Fox Nation. The problem that Fox News is having is there are other right-wingers online who compete with them, right? So they compete with things like the Daily Wire and people like that. You know, they compete with those things. So that becomes tougher for Fox News to have Fox Nation work. But the glory that Fox News has done is they've taken Fox Nation and basically taken their hosts that are popular and put them on Fox Nation. So people, I want to see the extra Tucker Carlson thing or the extra so-and-so thing, the extra Don Bongino thing. I have to get Fox Nation. They also did something else. They did Fox Nation free for a year if you're a veteran or first responder or something. So they can get more bodies on Fox Nation. Very savvy. They did a much better job of it. They're not doing as well as they could be because a lot of their audience is older, and the older audience hasn't gone online yet. In many cases, they don't stream as much. They're trying to make it happen, and they have other people who are competing very hard with them. Daily Wire is killing it, and it affects Fox Nation because they're both conservative. Now, when it comes to the left, there's a lot of left people online, but the advantage MSNBC has is it's run by NBC. So they have, is it Paramount Plus? No, Peacock. Sorry, Peacock. They have Peacock. Peacock is their online. Peacock does all their regular NBC shows. So if you like any NBC shows, you subscribe to Peacock. That's where you get MSNBC from. So that's the advantage of NBC. MSNBC has the advantage of having Peacock, not Paramount Plus. So they have an advantage on that. They have people like, Jon Stewart, people like that, those types. I don't know if they have Jon Stewart on that one, but like that on these shows. So MSNBC does better online than CNN. The only person who got screwed in this online war is CNN. They completely dropped the ball, totally screwed up, totally messed up. Fox is doing better, but struggling because of Daily Wire. MSNBC is lucky, is that doesn't do a good job, but it has Peacock, which helps them tremendously in their online presence. I hope that answers your question, Ryan. But do people watch MSNBC? Yes. The most watched, without question, still Fox when it comes to cable news, still the best. Chasing everybody, but if not, is News Nation. News Nation is doing a decent job trying to become what CNN wanted to be. CNN is a disaster. So the News Nation is trying to become that middle of the road, real news place. They're trying to do that, and they're actually not doing a bad job. I'll give credit to Andrew Yang, who has jumped all over News Nation, and a lot of forward party people are on News Nation now, where Fox has Republicans and MSNBC has Democrats. News Nation has forwardists, which is not a bad place for them to go. It's probably a good setup for them. So I went a bit long on that, but I hope I answered your question. I'm paying attention to these things. It matters. Phil says midterms are 100% about turnout. Yes, yes, and yes. Absolutely. Let's see here. Ryan goes on to say, definitely right in Larry Sharpe. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Absolutely. I'm trying to fix these things, right? I am trying to fix these things. It does matter, right? It really does matter. Jose says, I wrote in Sharpe this time and I voted for you last time. Thank you, Jose. Let's hope I get 129,000 more people who do that. That would be awesome. Yes, that would be awesome. All right. Let's see here. Just watch the state try to deem the write-in votes as legitimate. Logan, to be forward, you're right. Right. That's going to happen. We will be in court again. Absolutely, we will be in court again. But that's okay. It's a good reason to be in court. It's a good reason. I don't mind. I'm happy to do that, right? Joseph says, I will write in Larry Tuesday. Thank you, Joe. I do appreciate that. Absolutely. Yes. Joel says, and make sure you fill in the bubble in the write-in. Some of the boxes have a bubble to write in. If you have that on your box, please close the circle. If you don't, just write it in. Not everyone has it. They're different. Sadly for us, there are different voting machines and different voting things all over the place. So, yes, absolutely. You have to do both of those. So, thank you very much. So, all right. Let's see if I can do this here real fast. All right. Let's see here. Dan says, meeting the mayors of cities is not a solution, just like Hillary Clinton traveling the world as Secretary of State was not an accomplishment. She likes to say she works hard. I get that, right? She likes to say that makes her feel good. But I'm more concerned, right? I'm more concerned on what's happening. What are the results? We're not getting much of that at all. Cheryl says, great chat tonight. I agree, guys. My chat's amazing, right? My chat's amazing. You guys are awesome. You guys really you keep me in check, right? You show me when I screw up. You give me good ideas. Happy. Yes. Joe says, I disagree with you, Larry. A lot of people don't like Kathy Hochul because she's not likable and they're not going to vote for her. Huh. Hold on. What? You think that people aren't going to vote for Hochul because she's not likable? With Andrew Cuomo, most people liked him even though he was corrupt. I simply don't think she's going to get enough votes to win the election. I see your point, Joseph. I do. I see your point when you're saying that she's not likable and that Cuomo was. Cuomo had more charisma than her, no doubt. I mean, Cuomo was a terrible person, but he did have charisma. I always said that, right? I'd be very forward. Cuomo was smart and had charisma. That's how he got where he was, right? Absolutely. So I think that's true. But I feel like most people in America right now don't vote for anybody. Most people vote against others, right? They vote against people. So they tend to vote against. So I feel like people are going to vote against Zeldin/Trump. However, she projects that on them more than they are going to vote for her. And I think people vote against her to vote for Zeldin. But why would you vote against because you don't like them? You'd be afraid of them, I think. I mean, maybe. Here's what I'll say, Joe. Joseph, I don't mean to call you Joe if you go by Joseph. I think that because she's not likable, it is easier to vote against her. I think that's true. I don't know if likable is enough. I mean, a lot of people don't like people and they still vote for them, right? I mean, a lot of people don't like Herschel Walker. He's going to get a ton of votes, right? So I'm torn on this one, Joseph. I'm torn on this one. I feel like it could be a part of it, but maybe. I don't know. Maybe. So anyway, thank you for that. I appreciate that. So, all right. So if I can grab a couple more of these, some of you guys putting up, I appreciate the back and forth, right? Let's see here. Nobody's alt but mine. We have a huge problem with people stealing converters, and I live in a small city in Michigan. Yeah, it is a common thing. I completely agree. Yes, I completely agree. Yes. So, all righty. So many people. I appreciate this. Wow. All right. Tammy says, Alexander O'Donnell, right now, red's the only way, US. Tammy, my thing here is, this is what I want you to really think about here, right? Is it a long-term solution or not? I get people going, but you don't understand, it's terrible now. So we got to go do this thing to stop the terrible people. The terrible people don't go away if you don't change culture, right? If you don't change culture, the terrible people don't go away. They come back again. It's a short-term solution. So even if you get a red wave, that's my point earlier, a red wave, if you didn't actually get Democrats to become Republicans, you didn't get new Republicans. You gained pissed off Democrats. So now there's a new figure that comes out, an Obama-like figure that Democrats love, Obama. So the next Obama-like figure shows up. They go right back to being Democrats again. You didn't solve a problem. And the example I'll give you, I hope it makes sense in this one, Tammy. Remember, Bush got us Obama. Obama got us Trump. Trump got us Biden. And now, 4-year, one-term presidents are becoming a thing. Do I swap out the bad guy every 4 years? We need long-term solutions. And that only comes through third parties. Tammy goes on to say, libertarians are only going to take votes away right now. We need to turn this country around. We need to go right across the board. Red. That'd be nice. But let's say you did that. And now you get a governor in a state that would usually be blue, now red. Does all of a sudden the state become red? No, the state's still blue. So they're still going to try to get that red governor to do blue things. If he doesn't do blue things, he loses. If he does blue things, then he's not red. So I get what you're saying, Tim, and I get the emotion behind it. What I'm saying is We have to make sure that we're changing culture, which I'm saying is by getting local wins in a way that's more libertarian. I want more people to be liberty leaning. I want better. I don't believe that all of a sudden, even if I get the 130,000, 2%, that all of a sudden next year, 51% of New York is libertarian. I do not believe that. All I need is a good solid 10 to 20% libertarian. That's all I need. That's a lot to ask, but I already got 6%. I can now push it to 12. Once we push it past that 10% point, Tammy, you are going to see better Republicans and better Democrats because they're going to have to acquiesce to us or they're going to lose their seats. They don't care about you or me or anybody else. They care about their seat. And if we can threaten their seat, if we can do that, they'll acquiesce. Why? That's what they care about. Just rewarding the Republicans for not having any answers and just not being Democrats is why Democrats are in their spot. See, I don't think you see. Why did so many people vote for Biden or vote Democrat in 2020? Well, because Democrats convinced them that Trump was the evilest person in the world. He was going to kill everybody and he was horrible. So they all voted that way. They didn't vote that way because they liked what Democrats were pushing. They voted that way because they believed Trump's going to kill us all. They were scared. But were they actually all far left Democrats? No, they weren't. Not even all Democrats are far left Democrats. That's why now, once Biden's in, and now the far left goes, great, your votes mean you now support us. So let's now start dying on far left hills. And people are like, what are you doing? No, we just didn't like Trump. We don't like your garbage. We just didn't like Trump. He was mean. We don't like his mean tweets. But your stuff's garbage. So now they started giving garbage. And now they're pushing back on, no. We don't want your garbage at all. So that's why they're going back the opposite way. Because they didn't want Trump. They didn't like him, right? He was mean with his mean tweets. He's going to come kill you, whatever, right? That was the story they were told. So they believed that, and they were mad at him. So now they're going the opposite way. No. We don't want all your far left stuff, so we're going to go against you. You're not actually changing the culture. You've got to change that, Tammy. And I know you disagree with me, but I hope you understand why I'm saying what I'm saying, why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's what I believe. So that's why I keep doing it. I hope at least that makes sense. So, all right. Let's see here. Let's see. Tammy goes, USA is a disaster. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, yes. And she then goes on to say Zeldin's leading. That's absolutely not true. I know people believe it, and you're not going to believe me. It's not even close. He's absolutely not leading. One thing I'll tell you, Tammy, and thank you for being on the page, and thank you for watching, and thank you for caring enough to actually post this. And as you guys know, I take on people who disagree with me all the time. It's people who love me and who don't love me. I put them on all the time. Yes. So he's not leading. I cross this state more than any candidate, and I sit with people in their bars, in their diners, in their gun shops, in their vape shops. And what I'm telling you is this state, not country, this state is still heavily Democrat. You can drive upstate. Upstate's all red. No, by land mass, it is. But every single city upstate is still deep blue. Everyone still is, right? So you go, well, you go, yeah, you can't believe that Jefferson County is red. It is, but Watertown's blue. Western New York is red. It is, but Buffalo's blue. So the cities are still blue everywhere, right? I drive everywhere. I'm telling you, he's not leading. He's not leading. But you won't believe me because a Trafalgar poll said he was. He's not. Anyway, Alexander says, yes, Astorino got my vote in the primaries. Yes, he stood a chance, unlike Zeldin. I like Astorino. I do. I know him. I like him. But, yeah. This is the part that should make Republicans angry in New York State. It should. It doesn't for some reason, but it should. You had four options. If you're a conservative / Republican in this state, if you are, you had four choices for the primary. 4. 3 of them made sense. 1 didn't. 3 that made sense. If you are Republican / conservative and you say to yourself, here's what I care about. I care about a real conservative. If you're that person. Astorino was your guy, then you're correct. You should have voted for him. He's a real conservative. If you wanted a conservative, that's what you cared about, you should have voted for him. All right. You go, I don't care about conservatives. What I want is a good personality, a firebrand to get out there, motivate people to get the base out, and blah, blah, blah. That was Giuliani. Giuliani loved Trump. Giuliani was a firebrand, great personality. Giuliani was your guy if that's what you cared about most, right? If you go, I don't care about conservatism, I don't care about that. I care about crossover. I want to get Democrats to vote for me. That's what I care about. I think the most important thing is crossover. Harry Wilson was your guy. Harry Wilson worked for Obama. Didn't like Trump openly. Harry Wilson was the crossover guy, right? Didn't like Trump. You can get Democrats to vote. Oh my God. So whatever three you thought as a Republican was most important, you had a guy to pick from. Whatever you felt was most valuable if you were conservative or Republican. Who'd they pick? Zeldin. What did Zeldin have? The most money for them to grift off of. I'm not joking. That's what he had. The most money for them to grift off of. And they did in droves. 3 weeks from today, well, Monday, I'll say 3 weeks from Monday, you will know for sure Nick Langworthy, who's the head of the Republican Party in New York State, will be a congressperson. He'll be a congressman. That's what he did. He took all your money, lied to you, saying he was going to win in a state, and now he's a congressman. He grifted off of you. Raised $12, $13 million to do so. Took all your money and did that. And Lee Zeldin, 3 weeks from now, whatever the time may be, he's going to either be a lobbyist or in a big heavy hitter law firm because he gave them all money to work for him. He gave them thousands of dollars as consulting fees to work for his campaign. He basically bought himself a job. So they're going to be fine while we still suffer. So yeah, if I was Republican or conservative in this state, I'd be unhappy. I'd be unhappy. So yes. Anyway, I guess I understand that. Phil says the astronaut debate was with Jimmy. The rent's too damn high. Yes, that I remember that back in the day when people cared about that stuff. Yes, 100%. That makes total sense. Absolutely. So, all right. Let's see here. Ryan says, my dad's aggressive and he doesn't watch MSNBC, but he watched the Young Turks. Please, someone help him. I just did a show on the Young Turks a while about they blatantly lied about gun control. Blatant lie. So, yes, absolutely. 100%. Joseph says, Fox Nation brought back the Cops TV show. That's right. I remember that. They did. So Fox Nation is doing decently well. It does struggle because it fights other stuff, but it's definitely doing better. So Fredo joined News Nation. Yes, Cuomo's brother joined News Nation. That's correct. They are trying very much. Absolutely. 100%. Larry says, funny how Larry mentions Peacock, and literally for the first time, I see a Peacock ad on Facebook. I have magic powers. Yes, I just do that. Boom. It just happens. It just happens. Absolutely. I'm that good. 100%. That's very funny. Or maybe they're just spying on you. Could be. 100%. All right. So yeah, see if I can grab a couple more of these. I appreciate guys. You guys. Phil says Pataki was a big spender. Yeah, Pataki was not a hardcore Republican. He was much more of a crossover candidate, for sure. Much more of a crossover candidate. I think that's true. But a guy like Pataki might have a chance at winning in New York State because what New York State would want something like that. It would want someone that Democrats could feel comfortable voting for. That you couldn't just go, oh, he's so-and-so. Yeah. So Scientific Libertarian says the betting odds for her winning are currently 7.6%, and the gamblers have a vested financial interest in being correct. You know, it's funny you say that. I look often at that. And her odds of winning have gone down. They were 93%. Then that down to, like you said, 87%. So they've gone down. I saw something else at 86%. So they're now in the mid-80s. Still massive. Still massive. Absolutely. So she's going to win. I'm just saying she's going to win. I don't see her not winning, right? I don't see it. I don't see her not winning. So, yes. All righty. Matthew says Republicans split the anti-social vote. Socialist vote. That's what they say in Jesus Christ. Who did a whole story on that one? Conservative guys did that. I forgot who, but yeah, someone was talking about that. So yeah. But yeah, some people say that. But here's the reality. We need to have a third party. Without a third party, we're going to have a problem. That's just how it's going to work. The country's being torn apart. It's not going to work. Guys, again, as I always say, please like, comment, share if you can. It's very good to help me out. Click that like button, share, click whatever you got to click. It does matter. Support the world's smallest political quiz, theadvocates.org. It's free. Just go there, take a test, and share the results. It does matter. If you've done it, please do it again. It helps me support the show. Please do that. And of course, LarrySharpe.com/donate. Support me directly. You guys let me drop an F-bomb. Throw me some cash for the F-bomb. How about that? That sounds good. I would like it tremendously if you would, guys. Please, LarrySharpe.com/donate. Whatever you can do. I will be on again tomorrow, and I'll be on multiple times on Election Day. So you will see me hustling to the last minute. For those of you who've been supporting my campaign, thank you. For those of you who've supported with money and or time and or both, thank you. Don't quit. I'm not quitting on you. Don't quit on me. Keep pushing to Election Day. Keep pushing to Election Day. Thank you, guys. I will see you all very soon.